Yeah. Okay, we are recording. All right, so uh, hello everyone, and welcome to Down the Sidelines. I'm going to be one of your co-hosts, Matt Crowley, and my other co-host is
Brendan Retzloff.
yeah. So obviously, this kind of just came as an idea between the both of us how we were gonna. I mean, we're both communication majors, basically. What's your major again, Brendan? Is it media theory?
It's media studies. I mean, media theory would be pretty cool, but media studies. So it's my like clear goal to work for sports teams, and I it's my dream to work on the sideline or do commentary for the NFL because the NFL is just the number one sport that I love. So
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
obviously same here. I'm trying to get into broadcasting. I go to Lakeland University, so I'm kind of creating my own course down there. So basically, uh, working in working in a job where I'm basically, um, I don't
Like
know,
doing
broadcast. Yeah, I'm
the
broadcasting.
broadcasting type of
Yeah,
work.
so
Yeah.
I've been doing football. I've done baseball. I actually had an internship my freshman year, where I broadcasted for a AAA team, a really small team where Lakeland's kind of located. So I kind of did that. Had a lot of fun. Got a lot of knowledge from that. I'm just trying to carry that over because obviously I'm trying to be a broadcaster as well because that seems like something I really want to do, and it's like one of the best things to me that to me it's super fun. Like obviously
Yeah.
work is you gotta have fun when you work.
You gotta enjoy work for sure. And like if it's something you're having fun with, like just keep doing it. Like that is my key advice to people who are trying to figure out what they're doing. If they're struggling in something, just try to find something you like. And if you like it, stick with it and you'll find a lot of enjoyment along the way.
Yeah, for sure. Like work should be having, um, you should have a you shouldn't hate what you do because obviously you want to like what you do when you work because then it's not work. It's just something that you really enjoy. So
Exactly.
so yeah, so that's a little bit about us. I guess we've been neighbors since we were basically born. So
Yes.
right down the road from each other. Went to school for 8 years each other. Became friends in kindergarten. So obviously this is one of my actually not one the most longest friendship I've ever had with anyone. But besides probably my cousin. But yeah, we both went to school together. Obviously, you kind of know what happened. I transferred. I went to our current rival high school at the time. Uh,
Yes.
didn't.
I still am a little upset at you for that one, but hey, that was your choice. So
Yeah, obviously, you kind of know what went down. I'm not gonna get too much into detail with the audience here, but you know how it went down.
oh,
It wasn't
we got
very good
we
for
got
me.
we got quite a few good stories. That is for sure.
Oh my gosh, the stories are amazing. But that may have to be another podcast episode by itself once everything kind of
Yes.
wraps up here.
Absolutely. I would be down for that.
hmm But yeah, we're both juniors in college in Wisconsin. Lakeland University is where I go, and then as Brendan said, UW Stevens Point. So basically, it's about a 2 hour drive. I went up there last year for a wrestling tournament. I wrestled my whole life. Um,
Roll dogs.
oh yeah, go Muskies. That's our saying. It's so lame, but it's I don't
Oh,
know.
muskies.
Go
Dude,
Muskies or like
anything that
defend the
has
land.
anything that has go something is like it's so bad. Like it's not even
We are literally,
really
we are
I don't
really,
know how to explain it.
we are. I'm not. I kid you not. We're literally located in the bumfuck cornfield. Like, you literally turn on the
Hey,
background. It's like, wait, there's a university.
hey, you guys got Whistling Straits right next to you.
Well,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't complain that much. I'm a golfer, by the way. So, I am obsessed with things like the Masters, the PGA Championship, the US Open, the Ryder Cup when they had it at Whistling Straits. Like, I was there for one day. And same for the PGA when they had it at Whistling Straits. And fun fact, your professor, Amon Green, who formerly played for the Green Bay Packers, he was there throwing out footballs to little kids. And I was one of the little kids to catch one of the footballs from him that was signed by
Oh,
him.
that is awesome. I did not know that. Yeah, I actually have his class at 2:30 today, so
Dude, that's
he
freaking cool.
he has his own podcast. You would think he's actually a coach here, but he's not a he isn't a football coach. He's actually the esports coach here. So video games. So you be surprised. It's like, wait, why wouldn't he play football?
Yeah, who
Well,
would have thought?
coach, but hey, it's just part of the system. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so weird to think that a former football player then becomes a professor of a school.
this
Like,
is his first
it's
time.
interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I definitely enjoy his classes, but this is his first time actually teaching a class, so he's kind of like learning along the lines as well. So it's like it's fun. It's fun definitely to be see how he goes on about everything. Most of the time we try to talk about his football career because I'm super interested in that.
Yeah, and this dude has won a Super Bowl with the team.
I
I
no. He got
he
drafted.
didn't.
No, he didn't get
I
drafted.
thought
No,
I thought he won it with Favre when who did they play? Who did the Packers play to win that Super Bowl? The Patriots, didn't they?
no. I think he got drafted in '02, but he got drafted by the Seahawks. Yeah, he was a third round pick in a '98 draft by the Seahawks. He played two
Okay.
seasons there before being traded to the Packers, where he would spend his next 10 seasons, and he's in the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame. No debate, he's the best running back probably in Packers history. And then he was a four-time Pro Bowl selection with the Packers. He still holds the franchise record for rushing yards. And then he played for the Houston Texans. So that's where he ended off his career. I think it was a 1 year deal, and then he retired. And then, yeah, and now he's at Lakeland coaching esports. So that's actually super fun.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Yeah, I was wrong about the Super Bowl thing with Brett Favre. That Super Bowl was in '97. That was Super Bowl 31.
Yeah, so
The Patriots and the Packers.
he got drafted just after. But no, he's played with Aaron Rodgers. He's played with him because obviously he retired in '09, I do believe. Yes, '09, because he played the '08-'09 season with the Texans. So yeah, he's played with Aaron Rodgers before when he was a backup to Favre. So that's something he played with Donald Driver, Greg Jennings. I don't think he played with Jordy Nelson. He probably, but I should probably ask him that.
I think Jordy Nelson, his first year is, I want to say it was 2008.
I don't know. I met Jordy Nelson. I asked him. I asked him a couple questions. One of them I asked, if you weren't playing with the Packers, what team would you want to play for? He said the Chiefs. So he's from Kansas. He went to Kansas State. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, he did.
He did. So Kansas State, so basically a hometown team. So yeah, that's kind of about a little tangent there about Mon Green. One of the nicest guys I ever met. Nothing like current NFL players. Real class. Nothing. Super nice guy. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. There's nothing bad about him that I know of. But
Okay, I heard this story that he was involved in something, and then he went to jail for a while. But I mean, I can't really remember what it was, and this was a long time ago. So
I know
I
what you're
mean,
talking about. I know what you're
the
talking
Pat,
about. But I'm not going to
yeah,
go into detail because that's none of our business to go into it. That's his
that is
personal
true.
life. We are not going to go into that, obviously.
That
But
is true. So yeah, now that we've gone over a little bit about ourselves and a little tangent about Amon Green as well, we can talk about who our favorite teams are, and then we can tell you guys the point of down the sidelines.
Yeah, so I guess you can start off with your favorite teams. I guess college football. I mean NFL, baseball. I'm not a huge hockey guy, but obviously we're both into NASCAR, so obviously our favorite drivers, which we probably have the same one. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could probably know what my favorite teams are. I mean, I talk about them a lot,
oh yeah,
and like
for sure.
I post things a lot about them on like social media or
Hmm.
whatever. Oh, you do the same. So yeah, I'll go first here. So, my favorite NFL team, it's the Green Bay Packers. Born in Wisconsin, born and raised. I am all for the green and gold. My favorite college sports team is the Wisconsin Badgers, hands down. I've been a fan of them for my entire life, and it just stinks being a Wisconsin sports fan sometimes
Like
because
right now, it's so
oh
bad.
Oh my God, dude. At least we got the Milwaukee Bucks. I
What are they?
mean,
10-1 now.
they're 10-1, yeah. So I don't really pay much attention to the NBA. So I don't like care as much, but I mean if the Bucks are playing, I'll turn on the TV sometimes to watch them because Giannis, he is such an incredible player. He's an incredible guy. Like he is one sports guy that I want to meet before I die or he dies.
Hmm.
Like for sure. So the Bucks, they're also my favorite NBA team and baseball team. Milwaukee Brewers, man, all Wisconsin. So
Basically, yeah. I mean, you're born in Wisconsin. I mean, how you don't like the Wisconsin teams if you're unlike me. So, it's kind of with Brendan. I was also born in Wisconsin. Like we said earlier, we were born right down the road from each other. But I am a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. 7-1 this year, looking good. But
yeah,
damn,
your team is looking pretty good. I mean, some of the wins that your team has got have been a
okay.
little promiscuous, if I would say. But
I will
yeah,
say,
I mean, you guys have a good record,
yeah,
so
we're 7-1, the second best record in the NFL right now. But obviously, our only loss coming to the Eagles in week 2, which is why I do not like primetime Kirk Cousins because he chokes. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. His
yeah.
record is like I think it's 2-10-1 in primetime games. So it's like
So bad.
it's so bad. No, but my favorite NFL team, I'll actually give you two because I have an NFC team and an AFC team. NFC team is obviously the Vikings. I didn't really have a favorite sports team. I kind of followed where like Brett Favre went, and then when he kind of retired with the Vikings, I was like, okay, this is my team now. And also, one of my friends, his favorite team was the Vikings at the time. I was like, okay, I like this team now. So I'm just like, all
Wait,
right,
hang on. So you followed them because of Brett Favre?
yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I liked Favre,
If
obviously with
if
the shithole
if
he's in right
Favre
now.
if Favre stayed on the Green Bay Packers, or he didn't go to the Vikings and he just went to the Jets at that time, do you think you would have been a Packers fan or a Jets fan?
I don't know. Probably, but definitely not a Packers fan right now because I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, that's respectable.
Yeah.
I mean, I also watch some of the Pat McAfee show
Oh my
podcasts,
gosh.
and um, Pat McAfee is a fucking legend, dude.
He's
Um,
hilarious.
Pat McAfee knows how to entice and engage the audience into his content, and
Oh,
it's
for
great.
sure.
And I don't know if you've seen this too, but College Game Day also added him to the crew, and
That was a
the college.
mistake. That was a mistake. I saw the clip. It was of Luke Bryan. What was it? Lee Bryce. Yeah, it was Lee Bryce. Luke Bryan went on it. And Pat McAfee just goes like, "That son of a bitch." I
Dude,
saw that and I died. I'm like, no way he just said that.
Pat McAfee makes that show like 25 times better.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of tangent there, but my college teams are obviously the Wisconsin Badgers and Minnesota Golden Gophers. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I like both Wisconsin and Wisconsin teams. Uh, Baseball, I like the Twins. I love the Brewers. I would take the Brewers over the Twins any day of the week. But yeah, I don't really pay attention to basketball. As I said, I grew up wrestling. I wrestled for 15 years. This is my first year not wrestling. So I wrestled my first 2 years in college. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so I'm now coaching wrestling now, which is really good. I'm gonna hopefully
Ooh,
enjoy that.
good for you, man.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm huge into lifting now. I love to lift. I was a first form legionnaire over the summer for about 4 months for a company first form. Um, yeah, like that's kind of about me, about my teams and like my sports preferences. I'm not a huge hockey guy. I'm not a huge basketball guy. I do like the Bucks. Never really got invested into basketball until when the Bucks won the championship game. Uh, so that's really
Championship
about
game.
the
Yeah, you're
championship.
definitely not invested in
Shut up.
basketball, dude.
All I know is that they have Giannis, Drew Holiday. No, they don't have Brock Lopez is with the Thunder now. Um,
Brook Lopez?
yeah, isn't he with the Thunder right now? Did he
I
get
think
traded?
so. I think he's still on the Bucks.
Oh shit. Well, okay then. Anyways, I guess
You, Chris Middleton.
Chris Milton. Yeah,
Um, Pat Connaughton.
don't know who
I
that is.
uh, you don't know Pat Connaughton?
I don't watch basketball. I was a wrestler. I was always told to hate basketball.
I guess.
No, but yeah. I guess moving on forward on that little tangent about me not knowing much about basketball. Um, I guess down the sidelines, we were just going to be basically going over games, last week games, current power rankings from both ESPN and NFL. I have some very vocal opinions about the NFL power rankings, so prepare for me to
Ooh,
just go
dude.
off.
I'll go off as well.
So we're just going to recap all the games, go through each game and our thoughts about them. And then obviously game predictions. Obviously this is kind of a test run for us. Obviously we do know that there was a Thursday night football game last night between the Falcons and Panthers. By the way, Panthers blackout uniforms, so clean,
So
so
good.
clean.
They're so good. And dude, this is the night of the Black Panther movie release.
I
So
know.
it was like the most perfect timing. I don't know if the NFL planned that with Marvel Studios or not, but dude, it was perfect. And by the way, I want to see that movie.
I know. A
I've heard great
couple
things about it.
my fraternity brothers went and saw it last night. I was like, they said one of them says I was good enough to make a grown man cry. I was like, last time I cried in movies was in Endgame. Spoiler alert: Tony Stark dies. But yeah, that was the last time I cried. But yeah, I don't think they planned that. But anyways, but yeah, going over
Yeah.
power rankings, thoughts on each games, how teams can improve. Obviously, we'll be going to depth about our teams, so Vikings and Packers. Just recent NFL news, game predictions, and then we'll go over the playoff pictures and see how that's gonna look like. Obviously, we're halfway through the season, so gotta start thinking about playoffs.
It's crazy to think that we're halfway through the NFL season already.
I
I mean,
know.
it feels like the season just started like 3 weeks ago, maybe. And it's just a blessing to watch Scott Hansen every time on NFL Red Zone and just watch football for like 7 hours straight every freaking Sunday, dude.
I know. Football. Well, this is what my Sundays consist of.
That's
Waking up at 10, watching the Fox pregame show with like Carissa Myers and like Colin Hurd, and then once 11 o'clock hits, I watch the Fox pregame show. That's the only pregame show that I'll watch because I don't like CBS's. But like Kirk Menefee, Terry Bradshaw, Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Michael Strahan, those guys, amazing. Now obviously noon games, you gotta watch that. You got the afternoon games, and then I usually go over to my friend's place and we watch the Sunday night games. So that's like my little Sunday schedule. I do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's, I mean, about the same thing for me. I mean, except I wake up a little bit later because, I mean, I go to bed a little too late,
I
but
go to
I
bed.
wake up. When do you go to
I
bed?
go to bed like at 11:30 midnight.
Yeah, I go to bed at like 2 a.m.
Okay,
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then I wake up at around 11, so I get to watch a little bit of pregame stuff.
Hmm.
It's either Fox for me or ESPN. And then after that, I turn on NFL Red Zone to watch Scott Hansen talk about football games for 7 hours straight. And it's just nice to see games simultaneously play on one screen rather than switching back and forth on the TV.
Oh,
I
for
absolutely love
sure.
it. It shows every single highlight that goes down. And that's the way that I spend my Sundays. And then when it comes to Sunday night football, make myself pizza, have a good time with the roommates, watch some football, and then once the game's over, we complain a little bit about fantasy football or brag about fantasy football, and then I mean call it a night basically.
Yeah, speaking of fantasy football, Cordero Patterson got me 3 points last night. Not too happy with that. Thought he was going to go off. First game back, he got me, I think it was 19 points. I was like, all right, they're playing the Panthers. They're not that good. And lo and behold, he gets 3 points for me. So I'm just like, okay, well, that's lovely.
And I started the Falcons kicker last night,
Oh,
Young Ho
Who?
Koo
I was going to
or
say,
whatever.
he probably got a lot of points. Probably like 10.
He got 3 points.
Oh, never mind.
He made a field goal and he missed two extra points.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Yeah. So that wasn't a great starting selection, but the person I'm playing against is not really active at all when it comes to fantasy football. So I should win.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So I'm not worried.
But I guess, going on that, I guess, let's talk about the power rankings. Um, we're going to compare, obviously, later. We'll give our, I guess we'll agree to disagree right now. I guess let's go over the. You want to start with NFL or you want to start with ESPN?
Let's start with NFL. I'm on the NFL website right now.
Okay, I have both pulled up right now. What is it? Week 11? Oh, week
It
10.
is we're entering week 10.
Okay, so right here. So number one spot, the Eagles. That's
No
both the same.
surprise there.
No surprise. Obviously, when the Jets beat the Bills, I don't think that was going to be a surprise. Jalen Hurts is having an MVP season, no doubt about that. So I think we're both in agreement. So the only last undefeated team in the league deserves that. But obviously, they do have a cakewalk of the schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Do we?
no surprise. And the game that they played last week against the Texans,
They
it was
struggled.
actually
They
a
struggled.
pretty close game. And the Texans are not known as a good football team at all.
They were 1-5-1 going into that game, and
Yeah.
they held their ground against the Eagles. I will say that. But obviously, yeah, Damian Pierce, he had 139-yard rushings, and usually Eagles defense is spectacular. Obviously, you got James Bradbury, Darius Slay, super good secondary, good front. But yeah,
Yes.
no surprises there. Both ESPN and NFL have them at 8. I agree with that. I guess going down to number 2, I guess this could be a little controversy. ESPN has the the Chiefs and NFL has the Bills. I would still put the Bills over the Chiefs. I would go.
I don't I don't really know how I feel about this one with the NFLs. I honestly feel like the Chiefs would be ahead just because Josh Allen is injured right now.
Well,
He has
he has
he has
Tommy
that
John.
UCL injury.
Yeah, it's like the Tommy John injury in his elbow right now. They don't know if it is Tommy John's, but still. But no.
So so they just got to keep an eye out on that injury. If that injury becomes serious, I would put the Chiefs ahead of the Bills.
Yeah,
But
obviously
if it's
we.
not a serious injury, then I'm keeping the Bills up in front because Josh Allen, I think he is the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, no
He
doubt.
hasn't He hasn't really played like it in the last 2 weeks, but he is the most talented quarterback.
No, honestly, we will talk about injuries after our power rankings, but that's like the main headline is the Josh Allen. So yeah, I would put the Bills over the Chiefs. Obviously, they did play each other, and Buffalo was victorious in that game. Obviously,
Yeah.
they both had opening turnovers. Patrick Mahomes threw a red zone interception. It was I think he threw two because yeah, it was a final drive and he threw an interception. I think it was tipped or batted or something like that, or it was just a really bad throw. I can't remember. But
Um, yeah, I can't really remember that either. Wasn't that game in Kansas City as well?
it wasn't Kansas City, so that's when Josh Allen hurdled. Uh, I can't remember who it was, but no. This is where the big controversy comes in. Number 4 to NFL is the Dallas Cowboys. I,
I
mm, I mean, yeah, they got a healthy Dak, but obviously, they're too high for me. They're they're not on the same playing level with the Chiefs or the Bills. They're,
All right. Do you remember when the Buccaneers beat the Cowboys week 1
bro, it was
and
a 30.
Dak Prescott got injured and literally every single NFL media analyst or whatever said the Dallas Cowboys were not going to make the playoffs. They were going to be horrible and it was going to be time to fire Mike McCarthy and all of that jazz. Well, take
Cooper
a look
Rush.
at how bad the media really is at their opinions. Like
Yeah,
this
it's
right
so
here.
bad. Like obviously, I don't agree. I think they should be at least. You could say put them at 5, but I think they should be at 6. That's my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper Rush as a starter, I think he went 4-1. He lost to the Eagles, and
Yep.
he's a decent backup. I mean, he could have his career as like just a solid backup. But then
For
for
sure.
yeah, but for ESPN, my Minnesota Vikings. I mean, shit. I mean the win against Washington, that was definitely an ugly win. I will say that. Just riddled
Here's
with
the thing.
penalties. Just
A win's a win.
oh yeah, for sure. If you look back at last year's season with the Vikings, these one score games they were losing. They were losing these one score games, but then this year they flipped it around, so they're winning these one score games. I will say, offense absolutely dominant. Defense, we definitely need to work. Obviously, we fired Mike Zimmer. We got Kevin O'Connell, absolutely utilizing Justin Jefferson to his fullest potential. Absolutely moving him around, giving them different looks on offense. But there's a part of me that still misses Zimmers because he is that defensive mastermind. But that's obviously once you figure out what the Vikings are running, like the Eagles did, they absolutely just exploited that. But also Kirk Cousins was in prime time. But
Yeah, and I mean, I would have to agree with ESPN on this ranking because the Vikings are 7-1. These other teams that are ahead of them on NFL.com for their power
you
rankings
have let's just go over.
all
So
have
you
2
have
or 3 losses.
yes.
So the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the 49ers. Okay, how are the 49ers in 6th place
I do
on
not
this
know.
ranking
That
chart,
is
dude?
they're a 500 team just because they got McCaffrey. That's why I think. That's why I think they're putting them so high. But no, Vikings should not be ranked 7th in my opinion. They're the only 7-1 team. I think they can beat Dallas. Obviously, they play Buffalo this week, so that is going to be a hell of a game.
I think you guys are gonna take home that win against Buffalo. I think that.
There's a couple factors I'm gonna say when we get to that when we get to game predictions.
Yep.
But yeah, so obviously we got the Baltimore Ravens at 5 on NFL, and the Cowboys at 6. So we kind of went over with the Cowboys. I kind of agree with that. 6-2 team. They've been playing good. They got Dak back. They have absolutely explosive Tony Pollard. Zeke is out for a little bit, but I think you should start Pollard over Zeke. That's just my opinion.
Tony Pollard's a better running back than Ezekiel Elliott. I think
Thank
Ezekiel
you.
Elliott needs to be traded to some team that is in need of a running back.
I'm looking at
And
Green Bay. I'm looking at Green Bay because I mean,
I don't. I don't
I
think
mean,
Green Bay needs a running back, man. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, I
how much?
believe they are a good 1-2 tandem for the
Yeah.
Packers.
Now that you say that, yeah, yeah.
AJ
Um,
Dillon's an up and coming guy.
yeah, he's at power third down back.
Yep.
But yeah, five. I agree with that with ESPN. NFL, they got the Ravens. I mean, they're the Ravens. I don't know what else to say. You have Lamar, who's basically a
He's their offense.
he's their offense. You got Mark Andrews, by far one of the best tight ends in the game. He's injured. You have Justin Tucker, who you can rely on at any situation. But lately, he's been missing a couple of his field goals, which I'm not too happy because he's my kicker for fantasy. So
Did he miss some kicks on Monday night?
I think so, yeah. But
I didn't really get to watch much of the Monday night game because
neither
I
did
have a
I.
freaking 6 p.m. class until 9 o'clock.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
So I missed half of the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, going on to number six, as we stated before, the Niners way too high. I don't care. They're a 500 team, and how are they ranked higher than the Vikings, who are 7-1? Granted, they did struggle against Washington, but still, that is
I'm gonna look
not
at their schedule.
Niners or Minnesota's.
The Niners to see how they are somehow this high.
Like I said, like they got Christian McCaffrey. That's why everyone thinks they're gonna go off because they didn't have that running back, but now they do.
All right, you ready for this?
Hit me.
September 11th, week 1. The Bears beat the 49ers 19-10. That was in that
The
game where it was
monsoon. Which
yes.
were may I might add, the coldest picture I've ever seen in the NFL is when Justin Fields slides across the field and just gets up and just yells. Coldest picture.
Oh, dude, yes. Yes, sir. I actually had a photography assignment for one of my classes and I used that picture for the assignment because
Goaded.
it's that cold. Okay.
Second one.
Week 2.
All right, go ahead. My bad.
Week 2 was their first win of the season. They beat the Seahawks. And the Seahawks right now, they are a pretty decent team, pretty good team.
They
Week
are
3,
leading the NFC West right now.
yes, are they 5-3 or 6-3?
I think they're 6-3. They lost to New York
49ers.
49ers. I know they lost to one more.
I thought they beat the Giants.
Mm-mm.
Who was the team that lost to? Anyways, we can continue with the 49ers
Yeah.
schedule. So then week 3, they lose to the Broncos in that really god awful Thursday night football game.
Don't bring it
Remember that
up.
one?
Don't bring it up. Let's just skip that game. Then the next week was even worse. So, yeah, it was a very low scoring game. Let's just keep going. Oh, good lord.
Actually, never mind. That wasn't the
Oh
Thursday
no
night
no no
game.
no. That's
That was a
Denver and
different
Indy.
one.
That was Denver and Indy.
Yep, you're correct. Okay, so then week 4 they beat the Rams, and the Rams are obviously just not clicking at all this year, defending Super Bowl champs.
One and done.
And then yeah, and then for week 5, they played the Panthers, not a good football team. They beat them 37-15. Week 6, they lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Once again, not a very good football team. We just saw them play last night,
You
and
gotta
they
think
took an
about this.
L.
You gotta think about this.
And then the next week, they play the Chiefs, and they got clapped by the Chiefs. They
I
lost by
re-
20.
I remember that one. I remember
And
that
then
game.
last week's game that they just played was against the Rams again, and they beat the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, the Rams, they're just not a good team.
They're not that. They don't have that pow factor like last year. Now, they're super
Not
struggling.
even close.
They're struggling. Stafford's struggling a lot, but yeah, it's just really bad. But no, yeah, Niners we can agree they're super high on this. Probably outside top 10 team, maybe top 12, 15. But number 6 on ESPN, Miami Dolphins. I agree with this.
I like that
I
one.
like this one because Tua is healthy. He is his brain is not mushed anymore. Obviously, what happened in Cincy, but you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Raheem Mostert, the three fastest guys in the NFL. You get, and they're winning. They're winning games. Obviously, Minnesota beat them, but still, they're winning games and they're doing a good job of it. Like Tua, I think Tua's undefeated. No, he's not undefeated. I think he's undefeated with the games that this year that he started and finished.
Really,
I
I didn't
think
know
so.
that.
I think so.
Yeah, this Miami Dolphins team, I most definitely agree having them at number 6 in the rankings. Every time that I've seen Tua on the field play, he has been terrific throwing the football, especially he had one game this season where I believe he threw for like 5 or 6 touchdown passes and it was like
Baltimore.
500
It
yards.
was against Baltimore because that's when Baltimore blew like a 21-point lead.
That must have been Baltimore's last loss then, because I know Baltimore is on a bit of a winning streak right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
And then just to add on to what you were saying, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they are two of like the top 5 in receiving yards this year.
Yeah.
It's just
Tyreek leads the
insane.
lead. Tyreek, and then it's Jefferson, and then it's Stephon Diggs. Top three right there.
That's a really good top 3.
Yeah, so 6, obviously NFL we don't agree with. ESPN we do. Moving to
Yes.
7, we kind of established this already. My Minnesota Vikings, they should be number 4. I don't think we need to go into any extra detail about that. We kind of hit on that with ESPN's. But TJ Hawkinson, huge addition. Did not expect that as a Vikings fan. Obviously, Irv Smith being out to 8 to 10 weeks, we need that tight end.
That's a good trade that you guys made for him. TJ Hawkinson's a pretty talented player.
For sure.
For sure.
Number 7 is ESPN. The Ravens. Kind of went over them on ESPN. Not ESPN, excuse me. NFL says they're at 5. I agree with them at 7.
Yes.
I it's I don't know what you want me to do, but that I think that's a fair rating for them.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that.
ESPN number 8, New York Jets.
Hey man, I mean the Jets
The
this year have
they beat the
been,
Bills. They just beat the Bills 2017. I think
their defense is so good, dude.
it's incredible.
Like I feel like their offense, the only good thing about their offense right now is Brees Hall.
He's out. He's out with an ACL.
He was a beast of a running back. And I didn't they just pick up
They traded for
is
James
it
Robinson.
Robinson? James Robinson. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how that's gonna go for him. I know he did score a touchdown
Mm-hmm.
last week, but I believe the Jets are on a bye week this week, so
They might
we're
be.
not gonna see much from them in the rankings for next
No.
week.
NFL rankings, you have Tennessee Titans sitting at 5-3. So obviously, I think this is a fair placement for them. Obviously, they started off rough, but obviously, if you go down one more, they have the Jets. NFL has the Jets at 9. I think flip those around, put the Jets at 9, and put the Titans at 8. No, excuse me, put the Jets at 8 and put the Titans at 9.
Titans at 9. I would put the Jets over the Titans any day on this. They're using Malik Willis, and I mean, the times I've seen him play, their offense has done nothing.
No, Malik
Like,
Willis is. I think he had 5 pass attempts in this last game because
and then
he's a scramble quarterback. He doesn't trust his arm. I mean, granted, you don't have as many receivers. You got to rely on Derrick Henry, but still, like if you throw a pick down the field, you throw a pick down the field. You're taking a shot. Like,
dude, that Sunday night game, this is a crazy stat. So Malik Willis only had 5 pass attempts.
And Patrick Mahomes had
You know how
what,
many?
59?
He had over 70 pass attempts.
I
Patrick
thought it was
Mahomes,
like 69. Holy shit.
Mahomes threw the ball 71 times.
Jesus.
So there were a total of 76 passes in that game, which is like
A
an
lot.
average total. But if you look at both sides of the spectrum here, Mahomes is like throwing his arm like God knows what right now.
Mahomes is Mahomes. What do you expect?
Very true. And he also did a lot of things with his legs in that game too.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously, as I kind of said before, uh, number 9 is the Jets for NFL. And then for ESPN, they got
Yeah.
Seahawks. Kind of went into them in a little detail, but Gino's the guy. I think they found that out. Thinking that prediction they were going to go 1-17, 1-16, and they're sitting at 6-3. They're leading the NFC West, so I don't know what much you want to do. You have Kenneth Walker who's doing outstanding. I think.
Dude, I Kenneth Walker, I think he could be put up for the rookie of the year
Oh, for
award.
sure. I think he's a front runner now since Brees Hall. Since
Okay,
Brees
I think
Hall tore his ACL.
yeah, I think it's between Kenneth Walker, uh Daniel Pierce,
Damian
um
Pierce. Yep.
Damian Pierce. I can't really think of any of the other rookies who have really stood out to this point, to be honest.
I mean, you got George Pickens from the Steelers, but that's really anything.
The Steelers are turning into trash.
Yeah. I know. Seahawks, I agree. Kind of lower top 10
Yep.
team. I agree with that. Speaking of.
Don't don't be surprised if the Seahawks team goes up in the rankings.
I wouldn't
I
be
I, I
surprised.
I would not be surprised at all if that happens.
No. Rounding out NFL's top 10, we have the Seahawks, as we just said. And then the Niners, which I think Niners, I think that's still too high. That's still too high for that. I'm just looking at these other teams. 5-3, 5-4, 5-4, 5-3, 6-2, and then it's the Niners sitting at 10. Obviously, top 15 team, but obviously not a top 10 team in my eyes.
They're definitely not a top 10 team. We already went through the schedule that they played, and the teams that they beat are not good. And the
Yeah.
teams that they lost to are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So, first one outside the top 10, number 11 at NFL is the Bengals. Obviously, without Jamar Chase, that's huge, but Joe Mixon picks up the slack for 5 touchdowns against Carolina. Praise the Lord for picking him up in the 3rd round of fantasy. Absolute steal.
And I got absolutely screwed by him last week in my family league. I Dude, I lost by 0.85 points in my family league this past week. And the scores were 79.1 to like 79.95. So
That's
Joe
rough.
Mixon got like this guy's 2/3 of his points.
He got 55.1 points.
It's insane.
I know. But no, obviously you gotta rely on Joe Mixon a lot more now with Jamar Chase. He still got T. Higgins. Or not T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. But no.
Yes.
Um,
Joe Burrow, though. Joe Burr. He's getting ice in his veins again. And I would say watch out for this football team. I went to their game week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
that was a
which,
hell of a game. Hell of a game. You made national TV. I saw you.
yeah, that's freaking cool. I can talk more about my story about that in a different episode because
Yeah,
it's a
that's.
really neat thing that I'm doing.
I know the project that you're doing with one of our buddies. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, moving to 12. NFL has Miami. I think they're a little low. We talked about them. 12 for ESPN, Tennessee. 10 to 12 range. I would kind of agree with that. Put them around there. 13th
I
for
would agree on
yeah.
that.
13th for NFL. You have the Giants. I think have we talked about the Giants? Yes, we
We
have.
have not.
Yes, they
Oh
they,
yeah, we
they
did.
were
They
number
were
11.
higher on ESPN.
Yeah. 6-2 team definitely should be. I think they're a top 10 team. Saquon's been doing outstanding. Daniel Jones is actually doing better. This is a complete football team. I don't know what you want me to say. Their defense is playing good. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Packers in London when each team was 3-1. They beat the
That
Titans
was the
week one.
Yep. And that was the fall of the Green Bay Packers, which really hurts me. Like going to London made our team fall apart, or my team fall apart. But you're right. This Giants team is a very complete team. Saquon Barkley is a scary running back to face. Like he is he second in rushing yards behind Derrick Henry?
I think he's no Nick Chubb is in first. I do believe
Nick Chubb's in first now. I thought Derrick Henry was in front.
it might be. Yes, it is actually. It's Derrick Henry with 870, Nick Chubb with 841. Chubb had a bye week. Then it's Saquon 779, Josh Jacobs with 743, and Travis Etienne right out the top five with 680 yards.
Travis Etienne, huh?
I know it's like that's something surprising.
Jaguars running back. Wow.
Yeah. So I think top 10 team. Obviously, we both agree with that. No surprise.
Yes.
14, both the same for ESPN and NFL. New England Patriots. 5-4. I don't know what you want me to say. They're a mediocre team.
I don't think they should be that high. I think they should be a little lower. Like I would put them at maybe
17, 18.
16, 16 to 18
Yeah.
range. Yeah.
Um, Nothing too far. They lost to the Bears when they sucked. I'm sorry. Their defense almost lost me a game that week for fantasy. No, but nothing really stands out about them. They're just there.
Yeah, they kind of just seem like one of those average football teams. Like if they win, like
It's
people are gonna hear about it, but it's not anything crazy.
no.
And then same if they lose.
hmm Number 15, both the same again for ESPN and NFL. Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert. I mean, I feel
Justin
like
Herbert
he's
has
been
been
doing good.
playing.
He's been playing
He's
good.
been playing quiet this year. I have him in my fantasy football league, and he hasn't been doing that much with my team. But Austin Eckler, oh my gosh, dude, this guy
That's
is
their
a unit.
offense.
Austin Eckler is their offense. The Chargers like to run those low screen passes to Eckler, get him down the field. They don't really run the ball that much. So Eckler is a receiving type of running
Yeah.
back for their team. I'm expecting Justin Herbert to make a lot more adjustments. We haven't seen him take as many deep shots down the field this season compared to last season.
Also,
Um,
he doesn't have Keenan Allen. It's just he doesn't have that
yeah,
big
got
threat.
Keenan Allen back yet?
No, I don't think so. No.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I mean, I know Herbert got that small injury early in the season
Oh
that's he
yeah,
said
that's
was
right.
nothing, but
It was of
but
his
I really
ribs.
but I really think that that's affecting him a little bit
Mm-hmm.
cuz you don't see him taking any shots down the field. And I mean, I still have confidence in this LA Chargers team. I think they can also shoot themselves up the rankings, but they play in a really tough division. And
Oh yeah.
that doesn't really seem that tough right now because the Raiders and the Broncos are just I
Shit.
don't know what the heck they're doing, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Literally anything can happen in the West. So
Yeah. These two teams are flip flop on NFL. The Bucks and then the Falcons. Obviously, Falcons are probably gonna be lower. Probably gonna be outside 20 team because they just lost to the Panthers. These two were flipped, so ESPN had them at Falcons at 17, Bucks at 17. NFL had Bucks at 16, Falcons at 17. But
Yeah.
um,
I mean, they could flip flop either way to
Tom
me.
Brady's been struggling. It seems like the old QBs in this league are starting to struggle this year. Obviously, he got his divorce. Zach
But
Wilson, Giselle is available.
also tell that to his best friend or whatever.
No, but obviously Cordell Patterson just got off IR. Kind of picked up Travis Alliger. Kind of one of the better running back duos in the league in my opinion. But honestly, they just lost to Carolina, so they're gonna be outside top 20. But at this time, I kind of do agree. Kind of like you could put these teams either or. It doesn't really matter. I think this is still a good placement for both teams. But obviously, with Tampa, they've just been really slow. They just beat the Rams.
In a disgusting game. Like they had a game-winning drive, but
16-13 win.
let's be real. The game-winning drive was like 60 yards with like 2 minutes left. I mean, I know it's Tom Brady, so he can do that, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with the LA Rams team. And the thing that's ridiculous about this is I I still think Tampa Bay is gonna win this division and
No,
somehow just go
no.
crazy in the playoffs, dude.
No,
Because
I think they're gonna
if
get
they
wild card. They're gonna get wild card. They're not gonna win the
if
division.
if they win their division, they're gonna get home field in their first round playoff game, which
That's gonna be scary.
I mean doesn't make sense. But they might have a worse record than the team that they play in playoffs. Either way, the team who's gonna win the NFC South is gonna have a worse record and have home field advantage.
Yeah. Going on to 18, NFL, the LA Rams, literally right below the team that they lost to. Well, two positions down. Rams,
You got the
nah.
Commanders ahead of them on ESPN.
Yeah, I think, are they flip flop? No, they're not flip flop. So,
I don't see
obviously,
the Commanders yet.
Commanders, obviously, they've been playing. Heineke has been good. He's not afraid to take shots down the field. But Rams, they're just obviously not. They don't have that mojo anymore. They don't have Von Miller. They don't have OBJ. Stafford isn't playing his best. Even though he did have a thumb injury, he's also in percussion protocol right now, so you don't know if he's going to be playing this next week. But
Yeah,
no,
the injury bugs hitting them. They're just off on both
they're off. They're
sides.
not doing good. They don't look like a complete team. It looks like they don't know what they're doing. No, I think they're a 25 team. But no,
Wow, that low really.
yeah, they're 3-5. I mean,
That is true. Um, I'm gonna take a look at their upcoming schedule and see.
but
You
that
can keep talking.
yeah, honestly, the Commanders also ESPN knows what's going on. These are actually probably more accurate for NFL. I think in the future, I think we just look at ESPNs now because IFC after looking at NFLs, a lot of these are just not okay.
Okay, so I pulled up the Rams schedule and their upcoming games. They might have the hardest schedule remaining in the league.
Ooh.
Like I'm not kidding. So they have okay, so November 13th they got the Cardinals. The
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals I just started watching their Hard Knocks series on HBO. Um episode 1 of that came out. It was very good by the way. I highly recommend watching
I saw
that
the
series.
Lions one. That one was really good.
I have yet to watch that one, and I was planning on watching that over this weekend, but we'll see what I got going on. So they got the Cardinals coming up this week. Next week they got the Saints. They could win that one.
Which,
Then they
if we actually talk about the Saints, they're the 21st team on ESPN and they're the 20th team on NFL. So that should be a really good game.
yeah, it should be a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't really know too much about the Saints. I know Andy Dalton is now their starting quarterback.
Oh
What
gosh,
even happened? What even happened to uh
Winston. I don't know.
Winston,
I
James
think it was
Winston?
something. Was it his knee? I can't remember. I can't remember,
I
but
thought that was from last year though.
uh,
Maybe he's still recovering from that.
probably.
Jeez.
But
But
no.
anyways, for the Rams schedule, the week after that, they play the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they're fucked.
Then the Seahawks, then the Raiders, which maybe they
Raiders,
could
they
win that
should
one.
win. Raiders are playing the best right now.
Then at Green Bay. And anytime you play at Green Bay,
It's
I
gonna be
mean,
rough.
it's going to be tough sailing. And then the Broncos, they could get that one. I don't know. Then the Chargers and then the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And that's their schedule.
Yeah. Rams.
Man.
Don't know what to
They're,
say. Huge
yeah,
disappointment. Huge
they're
disappointment.
they're gonna fall apart
Yeah.
even more.
19 on NFL. Actually, no, hold on. Yeah,
Cleveland Brown.
the Cleveland Browns. Um, Nick Chubb is carrying that offense. Meet Jacoby Brissett. He's been doing good, but it's the Nick Chubb show over there.
Amari Cooper was a good pickup for this team too. Amari Cooper, he's had a really good season thus far in Cleveland.
Yeah, obviously they get Sean Watson back again on December 4th from his suspension against the Texans. Imagine that. Funny how that works.
Yeah, once again, like the news about Deshaun Watson, I find it pretty ridiculous
It
because
is.
not even suspended for the entire season, and you got guys like Russell Gage who end up betting and get suspended for an entire season compared to like,
Calvin Ridley, who just got traded to the Jaguars, even though he can't play.
yeah,
That's stupid. That he should be suspended for the whole season.
very stupid. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's for another day.
yeah. 20. Talk about the Saints a little bit. Uh, Browns are on 20th on ESPN. They're 20th. Well, they're 19th on NFL, but 20th is the Saints. So,
Yep.
kind of talked about the Browns. We won't go over that. We'll talk about the Saints. I mean, actually, no, we kind of did just talk about them. So,
A little bit about them,
yeah. So I guess we'll move forward. 21st, NFL has the Chicago Bears above your Green Bay Packers, who sit at 22. Bears. Justin Fields has been a top 4 fantasy QB in the past 4 weeks. He just broke Michael Vick's Super Bowl era record with 178 rushing yards. They lost the game 35-32 against the Dolphins, but still they got Chase Claypool from the Steelers via trade, but they lost Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. But still, Justin Fields, he's finally starting to get his foot in Chicago. I think this is a very bright future for this guy in Chicago. Bears fans should have something to look forward to.
As much as I hate this football team
We
and
both do.
their
We both
quarterback
do.
and their quarterback just because he went to Ohio State. Frick Ohio State, man. I gotta give credit to him because Justin Fields is definitely finding his real home, and I'm so mad that this team got Chase Claypool. I wanted the Packers to get Chase Claypool so badly. God, so help me. I also
We'll
want the
talk about
Packers.
that when we talk about the Packers at 22.
It's frustrating to see that this team's ahead of my team.
But
But
they have been playing. They have been playing a lot better than the Packers, so we can't really say much.
and Justin Fields accounted for like 4 touchdowns in their loss to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are a good football team, and the Bears played a really good game against them. So
Yeah. I mean, Bears, they're starting to get their footing. Sure, they might have a 36 record, but I think this is just a slightly above 500 team, if not a 500 team.
I would agree with you on that. And another thing about the game last week was I feel like there should have been that pass interference call towards
against
the
Jake
end of the
Loom
game.
with a minute 35 to play.
And I think that would have changed the whole scenario of the game to turn the tides for the Bears.
For sure.
And then they would have won.
All right. We kind of on a time crunch here, but obviously But number 22, Green Bay Packers. I'll let you take over this one on NFL. Then 22 is the Broncos.
Yeah, so the Packers, last week they played the Detroit Lions. And I mean, going into the game, I was like, I don't know if this team is going to beat the Lions because they have been playing like absolute crap the past few weeks. Ever since the game in London, it's just been L after L. I've never felt like this bad as a Packer fan. Like, I used to be like so proud to be a Green Bay Packer fan because Aaron Rodgers has been doing his thing. But this year is completely different. When we lost 15-9 to the freaking Detroit Lions, I was like, yeah, we absolutely have a problem here. But another big issue, we'll go over it later, is injuries for this team.
Yeah, we'll
It
talk about
like
that later.
it seems like play after play, a player on the Green Bay Packers gets injured, and it's not fun to watch any player get injured, especially players for your favorite team get
No,
injured.
for sure. And they
So
and they got played Dallas, which is not looking good.
yeah, we got Dallas this coming week, and that's gonna be a big L. I already know it. And then, but
Unless Green Aaron Rodgers can pull his head out of his ass, that'll be good.
it, it seems like he's not like I've seen this guy talk on the Pat McAfee show. He's talking like the most calm guy in the situation. And if you see this guy on the football field, you can tell that he's so frustrated. So like the dude's got like multiple personalities going on, but then they got the Titans the week after that. I'll actually be going to that Thursday night football game.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it'll be a fun game to go
Mm-hmm.
to, but I mean, I don't know how it's gonna go. The Packers are gonna keep going down in the rankings.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Number 22 to ESPN.
Yes.
Denver Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. Disappointing season for them. Obviously, they got Russell Wilson. I dropped him as my fantasy quarterback. He has not been doing good.
It's probably a good idea to drop him. Did you hear the story about him doing like stretches on the team plane
Yeah, he
when they were
was.
flying to London?
Excuse me. Yeah, he was. They were flying to London. He was doing high knees in the aisle. Then the next week, Justin Tucker absolutely went off on him. That was
Yes.
fun. That was funny. But no,
That that was a gold moment.
it
Yep.
was. But they're struggling. I don't know what I can say. Huge disappointment. This They were saying that the NFC AFC West is going to be the toughest division of football. It is probably the weakest one right now because you have. Yeah, the Chargers aren't doing good. You got the Raiders who are doing god awful. You got the Broncos, and then the Chiefs are the Chiefs. But the NFC East is the best division of football right now. The laughing stock for the past couple of years is now the juggernaut.
I can't believe it, dude. This season has been so unpredictable.
It really
It
has.
like I don't even know how to explain it into words, but about the Broncos, I actually went to Colorado this past summer for a little family vacation, and I went to a Broncos training camp. Russell Wilson looked so fucking good, dude. He only missed two passes, and none of them were like interceptions. They're either a drop by the wide receiver, or it was just like the ball was thrown a little too far ahead. But that was it. This team looked so good in warmups. I'm like, God damn, this team is gonna be so freaking good. And now to see where they are now, it is a god awful disappointment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a disappointment. I don't know what else I can say.
Yeah. You can carry on with the rankings.
23, according to ESPN NFL, Arizona Cardinals definitely been struggling. They just got D Hop back, but I think they're gonna start climbing up with D Hop back in their lineup. Obviously, he's suspended for the first 6 weeks due to steroid use, but
Yeah.
there
And
he D Hop his debut was against Minnesota. Absolutely had that incredible one-handed catch against Harrison Smith. Rounds of applause to D Hop because he's like the only guy probably in that league that could make that catch. No one else.
yeah, That was a really good highlight reel catch. And maybe one of the catches of the year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably up there. I'm gonna say number two. Number one's gonna be that George Pickens against the Browns on that Thursday night game.
I wish I watched that, but I was out working that night. I heard about it, and people were going nuts on social media about that
They're comparing it
catch.
to OBJ, which I think
I
OBJ
I
might
wouldn't
might
go
have a
that
little
far.
slight, but not no. But
Yeah,
no,
I wouldn't go that far on it. But yeah, for the Cardinals, the like I was talking about the series of Hard Knocks with them, it focused a lot on Buda Baker and his personal life too. And it stinks because Buda Baker, he's actually going to be missing a little bit of time with an ankle injury. So,
ooh,
and Buda Baker, he is one of the best defensive players
oh
in the
yeah,
league.
for sure. Uh, Obviously he got known after DK got ran him down, but no, I think this is a
Yeah,
team that will crawl up, finish in the top 20, maybe top 15 even, depending how they get their stride going. But
they have
23,
potential
they
easily.
have great potential, but 23 as of right now, I think it's a good spot.
As of now, yes.
All right. So 24 to NFL is the Las Vegas Raiders. That's bullshit because I'm looking at 25 and it's the Washington Commanders, which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah,
Raiders, you got Devontae Adams. You fucking suck. I'm sorry, you just suck. But
so true. So true.
it's
Devontae,
just
so good.
Adams. Like, yeah, he want to play with his college ball buddy, Derek Carr. I mean, huge loss for you guys because obviously you can see Rodgers is just struggling without him. But
Yeah, and last week's game for the Raiders, they came up to a dominant lead going into like the second quarter because Devontae Adams got the ball almost every single play. This guy had like 35 fantasy points in after the first half. And
yeah,
then nothing. Absolutely nothing. They stopped giving Devontae Adams the ball for I don't know what reason. Like, even if they double covered him, I think it was the Jaguars they were playing. Even if they double covered him, I feel like they'd still be able to get the ball to him. And another big piece of news for them is they just lost Darren Waller and they
Hunter
lost
Renfro. That I was going to talk
Hunter
about. They're both
Renfro.
on IR. Huge.
Yep.
Obviously, your number two receiver and probably your two and three receivers really Waller absolute unit. But no, Riddle with injuries again. But too high for me. Obviously, 20, probably like 27. They're
I
not
would
that good.
drop him down too.
Yeah. ESPN 24 25. We kind of both talked about. They have your Packers over the Bears here. So
Yeah,
20
they actually have them ahead of the Bears. That's interesting. I think
that's
the Bears are a
surprising.
better team right now.
Yeah. So 24 Green
So
Bay, 25 Chicago. Uh, ESPN number 25 we got, as I said, Washington Commanders. Um,
or
Heineke, NFL,
NFL.com.
NFL. Yes, excuse me. Heineke played well. I mean, only mistakes that he had that interception to Harrison Smith in the fourth quarter, which really shifted the momentum. Then couldn't get anything going after that.
Absolutely. I think if they were running the ball towards the end of the game, the Commanders would have won that. So like if they were
Hmm.
running the ball in the final 10 minutes, they
Or
would have had it.
I know, I'll say I know this. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a minute 30 left, I do believe, and Minnesota went to kick the game-winning field goal. It was fourth and goal. It was like a 32-yard chip shot, which honestly, if you're a Vikings fan, you know that no field goal is ever safe.
Sorry, man.
Blair Walsh, god damn it. But anyways, um, the Commanders' stupid play literally just bull rushes the center, which if you didn't know, that's a penalty. So automatic first down, half distance to the goal, automatic first down. Commanders didn't have any timeouts. Vikings just ran the ball, didn't score a touchdown, just to run the clock out. One with one as time expired, basically. Actually, it was like 30. No, it was 7 seconds because they kicked off. And I think it was Chandler Sullivan, former Packer. made the game-winning tackle. He kept what's his name? Not Antonio Gibson. What's his name?
Curtis Samuel? No.
No. The running back that got shot 8 times in the leg. And he made his return.
Oh.
Let me
Who
look that
was
up.
that guy?
Brian Robinson. Ryan Robinson.
Right. Yeah, yep.
Honestly,
You're right.
incredible story for him. But I don't know if it was him. But Sullivan, I think it was Sullivan. Not entirely sure. Tackled him in bounds. Didn't have any timeouts. Time ran out. End of game. But yeah,
Wow.
25 for Commanders. Too low for me. Top 20 team.
That's like the first time you'll ever see a Packers special teams player actually make a good play.
Hey, he's actually a starting safety because our rookie went out with a ACL tear. I'm pretty sure. So 26 for ESPN. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Went up from rank 29. Travis Etienne's having a good season. Obviously lost James Robinson with the trade deadline to the Jets. Trevor Lawrence has been looking better. Got Christian Kirk over this past offseason, so not much you can go there. Highest paid receiver, but doing super well. Sitting at 3-6. I don't think a lot of people expected them. I think some people did. They're the Jaguars. I don't know what you expect.
Yeah, the Jaguars have been mediocre for so long, and they had that one lucky season with Blake Bortles where they got to the
Saxonville.
championship. Like that is just their defense
Mm-hmm.
being good. But now this team, they're back to their usual ways. And I mean, Christian Kirk was a good pickup for them, but I don't expect anything really from them for this season. ETN might have a breakout year.
He's been looking
He's
super good.
fifth in rushing yards in the league, so
Yeah, he's
they
having a
got
good year.
something going for them.
No. But going over to NFL, you have the Denver Broncos. We kind of picked our thing up to that. They're 3-5. Not too surprising. But 27th, according to ESPN, they got the Indianapolis Colts sitting at 3-5-1. Went down 5 rankings from 22nd. So
And
honestly, you benched Matt Ryan. You benched Matty Ice. I don't know what else to tell you. You start Sam Ellinger. He doesn't do the best. You have no weapons there. You have Michael Pittman, I guess. Jonathan Taylor hasn't been performing at all. It's just been a shit year for the Colts.
did they actually bench Matt Ryan, or was he like injured?
No, they benched him. They benched him
That's
for
that's such an interesting coaching decision. And I mean, they did
Jeff
just fire
Saturday.
their head coach, and they hired Jeff Saturday, which I'm excited for him.
Mind
Jeff
you,
Saturday
mind you, he
seems
has
like a really
no.
cool guy.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, he does seem like a cool guy. He's obviously played 15 years at NFL, made the playoffs 12 times, been to 2 Super Bowls, never coached. Actually, I take that back. They did find somebody that he did coach for high school, and he went 2-10. But still, he has that. I guess he has that playing experience, but I think it's downhill for the Colts. I think they're tanking for a QB.
I think it's a good idea for them to do that. They had
They're
so
they're
originally
not
they had
making.
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. I mean, we know about him. He's just not good. And then they go to Matt Ryan. Them trading for Matt Ryan was so interesting to me after Carson Wentz got dealt to the Commanders. Um, I was expecting them to like maybe go for Jimmy Garoppolo or
Yeah,
just somebody younger, not an older guy who is about to have his career end, you know?
yeah. Jimmy G obviously wasn't expected to start, especially with Trey Lance taking over. Like if you went back to the 49ers like training camp, like Jimmy G wasn't taking any snaps with the team. He was like doing like with one of his like personal like I think it was one of the QB coaches was helping him like just to get film on him, like prepare him to get traded, and now look where he is now.
Yeah.
But according to NFL, Jacksonville, no big. We went over them. Yeah, they're at 26. But
We're at 26. 27-28 now.
Yeah, we're at 28. Las Vegas Raiders for ESPN. We know what that's going on. Josh Jacobs having a good year. But 28
Right?
for NFL, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not surprised with where they are
No.
in this range. And I think it's a pretty good spot for them to be in. They had the lucky week 1 win against the Bengals who looked really bad
Oh, that's
week 1.
right.
And then they beat the Buccaneers in a really ugly football game. I
Tom Brady's
mean,
one of Tom Brady's worst career games, just from looking
absolutely.
back.
It like not really much has happened for this team. Train Chase Claypool, their number 1 receiver, and now they're
Out.
trying to get George Pickens to become that number 1 guy. So,
And now
and
you,
George Pickens, he's been doing okay.
yeah,
So,
he had that amazing catch against the Browns. You bench Trubisky for Kenny Pickett. Um, I don't know. The quarterback situation isn't very good to me. It seems Pickett still needs a lot of room to grow. He doesn't have that big mentor to work under. Obviously, you're working under Mitchell Trubisky, who won an MVP, but still, not looking good for the Steelers. I think they're out of contention.
they've been out since probably week 3.
Yeah. All right. Number 29, ESPN's Pittsburgh Steelers. We just talked about that. NFL, your Detroit Lions. Obviously, they won 15 to
Detroit
9.
Lions.
2-6 now. They had the 15-9 win over the Packers. 3 interceptions by Aaron Rodgers. Defense, one of the worst defenses, like one of the best defense. Mind you, this week 1 team held their own against Philly. I think they lost 38-35.
Wow. Really that close?
Yeah, it was like super close. Obviously, they blew the lead against Minnesota in week 3. But I don't know.
I know they've had a few shootout games. They had the one shootout game against Seattle. I
Yep.
remember that one. That was like the highest scoring game this season. But yeah, I mean their win against the Packers, it was a very, very big win.
Mm-hmm.
As a Packer fan, I expected this Packers team to go into it and possibly win. I mean I didn't have full faith, but 15-9, Aaron Rodgers throwing 3 freaking picks in the red zone. Yeah, you never see it.
Well,
And
2 in the red zone. One was like from the 40-yard line, and it got picked off at the 1-yard line. So I don't know if you would really consider that a red zone interception.
that's true as well. But give credit to Coach Dan Campbell.
I love coaching him.
He
Obviously,
is
he's had, I think this is his 5th one under this team, but still,
he is
I like watching him coaching. Super fun coaching
he,
method.
yes. He has such a heart for his guys. Um he gets emotional after every win or every loss that this team has.
It really
And
shows that he truly cares about this team.
yeah, this team's been a poverty franchise for the last ever since their existence, if you think about it. They haven't won a playoff game since 97.
No,
No.
they haven't won since '97. That's
That's like Barry Sanders time. And
mm-hmm.
Barry Sanders is he's a Hall of Famer. He is one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Yeah,
And
he
they
really
just had
is.
and the Lions just haven't had anything since him.
And
They've
you
had so many choke seasons. They've had so
0 and
many just really
16.
disappointing years. They might have an up and coming on the way because they're starting to get a stacked up receiving core. Aiden Hutchinson, I think he was a great draft pick for this team to try to bring their defense back to normal.
Yeah,
Obviously, you like that take.
I like
Go
that.
ahead.
Aiden Hutchinson, obviously in my case, defensive player. Actually, no, second running for defensive rookie of the year. I would have to give that to Sauce Gardner. Absolutely shut down corner. But no, Hutchinson made that end zone interception for Rodgers where they tried to do a little trick play with Bakhtiari. But no, be able to read Obviously, he's a hometown. He's from Detroit. He played ball at Michigan, born in Michigan, so obviously a hometown team. Basically, a dream come true for him. I like that. He is super phenomenal draft pick, second overall. But yeah, I
Yeah,
totally
I
agree with that.
yeah. I mean the spot that the Lions are in on this board too. I mean I would also have to agree with it. They're still not like to where they want to be, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
you can tell that they are starting to produce more talent. And even with Jamal Williams, dude,
Jamal
um,
Williams and DeAndre
with
Swift, one of the best
with the,
running back duos.
yes, with DeAndre Swift being out for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, there, Jamal Williams definitely paid off his work and is proving himself.
Yeah. Receiving core, Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously good. I'm actually friends with his brother, Ekamius St. Brown, on Facebook, so that's my little flex right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like to tell people that like, hey, I'm friends with an NFL player on Facebook. I was like, oh, who is this? Like, I was Ekamius St. Brown. It's like, wait, really? It's like, yeah. So whenever he catches like a pass for the Bears, I have to flex.
We'll have to get a Quimius on a podcast, maybe.
Maybe I can
Maybe
try to talk to Amon Green, get him on here.
that would be really cool as well.
Yeah. So going rounding out, we're in the 30s. We kind of talked about both of these teams. Detroit Lions, ESPN's on 30. Colts, NFL 30. And then these last two are flipped around.
The
ES,
Texans and the Panthers.
yep, ESPN has the Panthers at 31st and Texans at 32nd and last. And NFL is vice versa. Obviously, Panthers just won last night, so see them to go up. PJ Walker, I mean, he's been doing good. I mean, he beat Tom Brady, so
Yeah, he beat Tom Brady.
I don't know what you want me to say besides that he beat Tom Brady, but he doesn't have
Okay.
any weapons. Doesn't no weapons on that team. They lost McCaffrey in a trade, but I don't know what else
I
there.
don't know.
There's really nothing to say
What
about this team.
I mean, I would go and look back at last week when they got decimated by the Bengals. They're down by like 35 to nothing at half. Like it shows how bad the team performed. And then they put Baker Mayfield in, but then last night they decided to go with PJ Walker. They ended up winning their game. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know what happened with them in Cincinnati or whatever, but this team, I, how do you think you would have them? Do you think you'd put them at 31 or 32
Um,
or
personally,
somewhere else?
I would put them a little higher, probably like at 29, 30 ish. Maybe I would put them at 30. I would have Detroit at 29, Carolina, no, Indy at 30. Well, yeah, Carolina at 31, then Houston at 32. But moving on from that, but talk about the other team, the Houston Texans. Give credit when credit is given. They held their own against the Eagles. I thought that was going to be my upset of the game, upset of the week. I thought I really want to see the Eagles fucking lose because they have a cakewalk schedule.
That would have been so funny if this team beat them. The worst team beats the best team, or quote unquote the best team according to these websites. That would have been
Yeah.
that would have been poetic.
Damian Pierce, he's continued his offensive rookie of the year. Obviously, he had 139 rushing yards on the ground, decimated that. But big thing is that Brandon Cooks wanted to get traded. He never did. Obviously, Packers tried to make a move for him, and Claypool didn't get anything. I think if the Packers would have gotten a wide receiver during that trade deadline, I think
We would have beat the Lions.
not only that, but Rodgers would start to care a lot more.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's that Rodgers doesn't care. I think he just gets so frustrated
He's fed up.
with
I guess that's a better
with
way
the
to put
front
it.
office. And here's the thing, you can't blame the guy for being fed up over something like this
Mm-mm.
because we the Packers literally have nobody
No, they
for
really don't.
receiving.
I mean,
Like it is so bad.
Dobbs is out. I mean, Sammy Watkins hasn't been living up to expectations at all.
I just want
Cobb is
them
on
to cut.
IR, so
It's brutal.
it's super bad. But yeah, those are the power rankings. I don't know if you have anything else to add. I guess next week after everything gets done, I guess we'll review them on Tuesday or after. Well, next podcast we'll probably do right after the Monday night game. Thoughts about that game, and then I guess we could make our own power rankings to see how they do. But yeah, those are the power rankings. You got anything else to add, Brendan?
Um, I would. I don't really think there's that much to add. The only thing that I would say is I think the Colts should be in last. I really think the Colts should be in last place on these power rankings because their team has proven absolutely nothing this
Yeah,
year.
it
Mm.
it's been bad.
I think the Panthers are better than them. I think the Texans are better than them. It's they tied with the Texans this year,
They did
didn't
in
they?
week one. Week one. That
Yeah,
that's
like
that's funny, but
if anything, I just put the Colts at the bottom.
yeah.
That's my last thought.
All right, moving from power standings into the game predictions. So obviously, Panthers won last night. Can't really go over that, but you have Seattle traveling to, actually, excuse me, Seattle and Tampa going to Germany to play.
Germany.
So, what's your hot take on that? I have Seattle in this one.
I got Seattle winning this football game as well. I think the way for the Buccaneers to win this game is for Tom Brady to just do his simple short passing game and give the ball to Leonard Fournette.
Uh,
Leonard Fournette, he has been a pretty big running back this season in the NFL, and I think that if they run the ball on the Seahawks defense, they have a chance at winning. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win because I think the Seahawks are gonna win it because Geno Smith, he's found his home.
yeah, honestly, I gotta agree with you there. Gotta get Mike Evans involved. You get good Godwin back, but short passes, hand the ball off to Fournette. For Seattle, you have your big weapons. You have Kenneth Walker making his name for Offensive Rookie of the Year. You got DK Metcalf, physical receiver. You got Tyler Lockett. You got the speedster. Geno Smith absolutely playing out of his mind. But yeah, I got Seattle in this one. I agree with you. Seattle is. I think they're gonna take this game over in Germany.
What's the score you got?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 24-14 Seattle.
Okay, that's a pretty good prediction. I said Seattle 28, Tampa Bay 17.
Okay. All right, next game we have NFC North showdown. The Detroit Lions traveling to the Chicago Bears. Both huge games for both teams. Obviously Bears win this. Obviously we'll go over the Packers, see how they're gonna do. But Bears win this. They improve to 4-5. Lions, coming off that huge win against Green Bay, so I think they're gonna have that momentum going to Chicago. Um, Potential matchups you're gonna see maybe no, Kyle Fuller isn't there anymore. I don't know who's gonna guard Amon-Ra St. Brown. I expect him to have a big game. Justin Fields, I think he's gonna be put in check with Aiden Hutchinson. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this game?
Um, I believe that if the Detroit Lions defense plays how they did last week, whether that was an imposter defense or if that was legit defense last week, uh, I got the Lions winning this football game.
I do
Actually,
too. I have them
um,
winning.
I think that all the Lions really need to do on defense is keep Justin Fields in the pocket and don't let him get out of the pocket and run the ball because clearly the Bears can't really run the ball with Montgomery or Herbert very far. It's pretty much all Justin Fields on offense and offensively for the Lions. I also think Amora St. Brown is gonna pop off since Kyle Fuller is gone too. So yeah, I got the Lions winning this one in a pretty low scoring game. 17-10.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I'm gonna have it a one score game as well, but I'm gonna go 24-21 Detroit.
Okay. That's a pretty
So
close game.
super close game. Obviously very similar records, but Detroit's gonna get that huge win on the road.
They're going to carry a lot of momentum if they can win this week too.
Yeah, going two straight. But next one, Cleveland Browns traveling to Miami Dolphins. Um, this game could be a toss up because obviously we saw. I don't think the Dolphins defense is as good with passing and rushing. One below average defenses. So I think Nick Chubb will go off in this game, but also I think it's going to be a shootout. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, just it's going to be a big one. You're going to put Denzel Ward on either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. But I think this is a toss up. This game could go either way.
I think you're absolutely correct. I didn't know what your opinion was going into this one because I mean a ton of people would see this as, oh yeah, the Dolphins are a way better team than the Cleveland Browns, but the Cleveland Browns running game, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, just a very good tandem of running backs out on the field. And then you also got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, he's been a standout wide receiver this year for the Browns. We already mentioned the Dolphins with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, but I think we're gonna see a touchdown from Mike Gesicki, and he's gonna do one of those
No,
nice
no, no, no gritty, no
on,
gritty,
on,
no gritty,
on
no
the
gritty.
field.
He said that he was going to retire the gritty. It's so bad. I'm sorry, but
I really hope he does it because it is super funny to
it's
watch.
funny. But it's so cringy. Ugh.
I got the Dolphins winning this one in
Oh
a
my.
higher scoring game, 31-28.
Oh, okay. I'm actually gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna take Cleveland in this one. I think
Okay.
Nick Chubb will rush over 100 yards and two touchdowns, and I'm gonna put this as a 24 to
Two,
17
seven,
game. 24-17 Cleveland.
14. Okay.
All right,
All
next
right.
game you have Denver Broncos traveling to the Tennessee Titans. I believe the Titans will take this one. More complete team. Broncos defense. They lost Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. You're gonna have to find a way to stop Derrick Henry. You won't worry about the pass from Malik Willis, but uh, actually now I'm saying I think this game could be also be a toss up. So I think this is gonna be a close game.
I do not think this game is going to be close at all. The Titans, we've already seen the Titans how they play. I don't even know if the Broncos defense can really take care of Malik Willis when he gets out of the pocket. I think he's going to escape from them very much because, I mean, without Bradley Chubb being out there on the field, I think that's a really big loss for Denver and Derrick Henry. He can run it right down the middle of the field. Tennessee's not even going to have to worry about throwing. I got the Titans in this one, 21-10.
I'm gonna take Tennessee as well, but more closer. I'm gonna say 17-20 game, more closer. Because
Okay.
next one, my Minnesota Vikings taking on my Buffalo Bills. This game huge for both teams. Might go on a little. Might we want to spend a little bit more time on this one, obviously, because they're my team. But you have Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, one of the best wide receiver duos, along with newly added TJ Hawkinson. 9 catches for 79 yards or 70 yards. I can't, not exactly sure. Honestly, big story in this game is Josh Allen with his elbow injury, with his torn ligament. So far, I haven't heard anything about today, but he hasn't practiced the last 2 days. That's gonna be interesting. Case Keenum will be the backup in that game, so we could possibly see a 2017 Case Keenum going against his old Minnesota Vikings, or we're gonna see regular old Case Keenum. But the Bills, I know, are favored to win this one by 6.5. But I think it really depends. Obviously, Stephon Diggs, Jay Jettas, and Stephon Diggs. That's the whole reason we got him. Um, I would say maybe even a better replacement than Diggs. I'm going to say that. I love Stephon Diggs, don't get me wrong, but
It's a big take, dude.
that
But
is a
I mean,
huge take. I mean, he may not be as physical as Diggs, but I think he's better. He's younger, he's quicker, but
he's
it,
right there. I agree with you on that. I don't know if I'd go that far yet.
I mean,
Like, I just need to see him prove himself in some kind of way. Like, I agree. This guy is definitely like top three receivers in the league right now.
you have
He-
two of the top three in this game right now. You have Stephon
yeah.
Diggs and Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
But
It's gonna be a that's gonna be a really good matchup. I mean, I know they don't like go face to face on each other, but receiving yards wise, I wonder what the spread is on that. Like who's gonna receive more yards?
here's the thing.
Diggs,
Yeah, Diggs or
Diggs or
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah.
But my main concern is that I'm gonna have two outcomes for this. So I'm gonna take Minnesota if Case Keenum plays. If Case Keenum plays, I feel like we be able to shut down. Buffalo will numb down their offense for him. But if Josh Allen is playing, I'm gonna take Buffalo because Josh Allen, that's another threat you gotta worry about. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball. I mean, if he plays how he did last week, then maybe Minnesota will have a chance. Obviously, Minnesota isn't doesn't have has a decent defense, but I'm gonna say with Case Keenum, Minnesota's gonna take this one 24-20. If Josh Allen is playing, I'm gonna give it to the Bills 30-20.
Okay. I I would have to say pretty much almost the exact same thing as you. I think it depends who's the starting quarterback of this game for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, they do have a pretty good receiving core, especially in Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis, I don't think he's talked about
Oh
that
no,
much
I
this year.
forgot about him.
He has had a few games where he has had better receiving stats than Stephon Diggs. I believe in was it their game against the Titans? I can't remember what team they played, but he scored a 99-yard receiving touchdown. And then he scored like a 68-yard receiving touchdown from Josh Allen. I mean, the quarterback's obviously going to matter for this game. I don't know too much about the Minnesota Vikings defense. I know you would.
Yeah.
How well do they defend the pass?
Um, I wouldn't say the best, but definitely not the worst. Cam Dantzler, Patrick Peterson, I think is tied for first in pass breakups with Sauce Gardner. So definitely he might be old, but he plays stellar defense. Cameron Dantzler, obviously, stepping up. Harrison Smith is Harrison Smith.
Yep.
He's going to be all over the field no matter what. He's going to be willing to make plays. Linebackers, you got Zadarius Smith. Thank you very much. Eric Kendricks, Jordan Hicks. Just we have a lot of big names, but I think it's just like I said earlier in the show that we have an offensive coach mind, so he doesn't know
Yes.
much about defense. That's why I say I kind of still miss Mike Zimmer because he knows how to play this perfectly.
I think that would be my main concern then. Since the head coach has an offensive type of mind, I'd be concerned about the defense for this Vikings team. If Josh Allen plays, I got the Bills winning. If Keenum plays, the Vikings are going to win. Do you think this is going to be a potential Super Bowl matchup, Matt?
Yes, I was gonna maybe later on the show because I think we gotta start power throwing these quite quick because we got a little bit more to talk about. But yeah, I think this is a very possible Super Bowl matchup. Obviously, my two teams, I wouldn't care who win. Obviously, both teams, one of them are going to get their Super Bowl ring. But obviously, if it does, it all depends how Josh Allen's elbow. If it's not that serious and they're just going to send him out for this game, I think in that Super Bowl, the Bills will win. And I will have to hear more Vikings jokes how they're 0-5 in the Super Bowl. But anyways, but I will say it is a noon game, so we are going to get MVP Kirk Cousins at noon.
I'm surprised that this is a noon game. This is like
I thank
I would
God
say
it's
this
a
is
noon
a big
game. if it
I would say this is the biggest game of the week. It should be like a primetime game or a 3:05 game
So
or
you,
3:25 or
so
whatever.
you want to know the so Monday Night Football is the Commanders and Eagles big NFC East showdown. Sunday Night Football is the Chargers and Niners. You could possibly make an argument for that, but I think they just switched that now. They had switched it with a different game.
I mean, they should.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not going to because we're already 2 days away.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm fine. I don't want Sunday night. I don't want primetime Kirk Cousins. 325, you got Cowboys Packers American Game of the Week, along with the Cardinals or Rams NFC West showdown. Then the 305 game is Colts and Raiders, which, what the hell? If anything, make it a 305 game.
both the Raiders, it's going to be a
Yeah.
freaking garbage fest.
Yeah. So, your predictions for this game, one with Keenum and one with Allen.
With Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game 35-28.
Oh, so you're going to have it
With,
as a one-score game. I said two-score.
with the Vikings are going to win this game 31-17.
31-17. God damn.
I see high scores happening here.
Okay. Next game. Texans travel to New York to face off the Giants. Giants are going to take this one. I don't know what else you want me to say. Yeah, they might put up a fight against the Eagles. Saquon Barkley's going to run all over them. I don't know. I'm going to take this in a blowout. I'm going to say 28-10, New York.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that much to say about this one. Giants are such a complete football team. Texans, they're still working on it. They're developing. I would go with the Giants in this one. I'll go with 24-10.
All right. For last no, not the last noon game. Pardon me. Jacksonville Jaguars travels to Kansas City. I think this is going to be another blowout. I'm gonna say. I mean, obviously it's the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Juju, Travis Kelsey. Just more complete team. I'm sorry, but Kansas City's gonna take this one easy. They're at home too, so that's a huge factor. And so I'm gonna take this one as a 7-24 game.
7-24, you got?
24-7 to Kansas City. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with a way higher score than that for the Chiefs. I mean, I would.
Fine.
I
I'll
don't see
make
this
it 28-7. 28-7 to Kansas City.
I don't see this game being close at all. Like, I almost see this being like the Bengals and the Panthers last week, where it was 35-0 at half.
All
Like,
right.
I could see it being to that extent. I got the Chiefs in this one, 42-10.
All right. 42-10. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Last noon game on the schedule. Saints travel to Pittsburgh. Actually, I'll let you go first on this one. I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay. For the Saints and the Steelers, I think this game will be a toss-up game. I know the Steelers, they've had their struggles. They lost Chase Claypool. George Pickens is going to be the next man up in the rotation of the wide receivers for Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, he is an underrated coach. I think he's gonna find a way to turn things around in this one against the Saints. I don't know when these guys get TJ Watt back. I'm pretty sure he should be back by now though. So I believe that the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to prevail. They will be the steel curtain against the New Orleans Saints. I don't see much happening with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is such a mediocre quarterback. He doesn't really do anything for their team. And yeah, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this one 17-14.
Oh wow, so low scoring game. So I would have to agree. I mean, you got Tyrann Mathieu, Marshawn Lattimore on New Orleans, and then you got obviously Minka Fitzpatrick on Pittsburgh. But weapons wise, Um, I think this is going to be a toss up as well. Could go either way, but I'm going to take New Orleans in this one with the more experienced quarterback. Kenny Pickett, I don't think is still trying to figure it out. I am going to go 28-27 New Orleans in a nail biter.
Ooh, that's a high scoring game. I think both defenses are pretty good.
Yeah, but it really comes down to the offense, I think. I just think that the Saints have a more
Yeah.
complete offense. All right. Next 305, first 305 game, you got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Two very shitty teams going at it. Like we said earlier, this is going to be a garbage fest.
Excuse me, were you about to say Oakland?
I was. Excuse me. I realized I was like, oh, wait, nope, they're not in Oakland anymore. They're in Las Vegas.
Yeah. But yeah, for this game, uh we know how much both these teams are struggling right now. I believe the Colts are the worst team in the league. The Raiders are going to win this game in Vegas. It's nice that their game's in Vegas for them. I think this might be a statement type of game for the Raiders to say that they're not really trashy, even though they're playing against a trash team. The Raiders are gonna win this one 17-3.
Oh, good lord. Basically, how you
The
said it.
Colts. I don't see the Colts scoring a touchdown again.
I think they'll score one touchdown. I think Sam Elgar will get his first career touchdown throw to Michael Pittman. Um, I'm gonna say 20-17. It's in Vegas. I like the Raiders odds in Vegas, but it's not gonna be a good game. It's gonna be that game that everyone just skips because no one wants to watch it. It's just gonna be Oscar the Grouch playing.
Here's the thing, when it comes to those types of games, those are typically the really good games that are on, and then all the other games are shit.
You want to know why? Because they'll play like they're Super Bowl contenders, and then they just, oh wait, what happened to that? Oh wait, we suck.
It's so true.
I know, but yeah. Shit. What did I say? My score prediction was.
You did not say the score yet.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna take Oakland and shit Las Vegas in this one. I'm gonna make it a shootout. I'm gonna say 35 to 31. Las
Wow, we
Vegas.
got two completely different scores in that one.
Yeah. Next one, Arizona Cardinals. Travels to LA for the Rams. NFC West showdown.
For this game, I, I don't know. This one is a toss up for me. Um, I know it's the Rams defending Super Bowl champs. They're struggling.
I will
It's
say
like
this.
there's always a small part of me that's like, okay, when is this team gonna break out and return back to their normalcy? You know?
And I will say this, even though it's in LA, you gotta remember, there's no fans there. Like when Minnesota played the Chargers last year, it was basically a Minnesota game because they just had fans there.
Is that just how it is in LA or something?
That's
Like, is
really is.
ever
I mean, you
like
have how many teams there? You have the
I
you have
don't
the Rams,
understand.
you have the Chargers, you have the Niners. You used to have the Raiders.
I just don't really understand how any of that really works, to be honest. Like, if if there's two LA teams, there should be a ton of LA sports fans. Like,
The
wouldn't you
Lakers.
think that?
Yeah. But no, it's like the exact opposite.
Yeah, that is super weird to think about because you'd think like all the people from LA are either going to be a Chargers fan or a Rams fan, and more likely a Rams fan because they were from LA
Well,
originally.
yeah, I was gonna say they're originally from LA, moved to St. Louis, moved back to LA. Chargers used to be the San
San Diego.
Diego, so obviously, I don't know. Like you really didn't have those teams, so maybe like people moved on. So I don't know. But I will say I am going to take Arizona in this one. I'm gonna say 21-14.
I,
Both offenses are struggling a little bit, but
that's funny. I have the same exact score as you. Um,
all right, Arizona 21-14.
Arizona 21-14. What's the spread?
I can check the spreads right now.
I think DeAndre Hopkins is gonna have 2 touchdowns in
Oh,
the
for
game,
sure.
and it's either gonna be Zach Ertz with the other one,
Okay.
or it's gonna be Zach Connor.
So I'm gonna say this. Point spread. Tampa is favored by 2. Oh, they changed the Buffaloes in Minnesota one. Buffalo up
Did you say it was
3.5.
at 6.5?
It was at
It's at
6.
3.5
It's at
now.
3.5 now. So obviously,
That
with the thing with Josh Allen, is definitely gonna be interesting.
makes more sense that the spread would be 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you said it was 6.5, I was like, dude, that's really high for a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, 3.5 makes sense.
New Orleans and Pittsburgh. According, this is Yahoo Sports, by the way. Pittsburgh, actually, excuse me, New Orleans negative 1.5 points. Let me kind of see it there. Houston
Who
and
was favored in that one? Sorry.
New Orleans by one
Okay.
point. So then you
Okay.
have the Texans and the Giants. Giants are favored by 4.5 points.
Only 4.5.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's super low. Dolphins and Browns. Dolphins will have that one at 3.5.
Yep, I would take that.
Kansas
I,
City and Jacksonville. Kansas
this one's
City
got to be over 10. It's got to be over 10.
9.5.
Okay, pretty
Very
close.
close.
I would still favor that.
Broncos and
Like,
Titans. Titans is a favorite of 3.
yep, I would easily agree with that.
Detroit and Bears. Chicago 3 points as well.
That's gonna be a toss-up game,
hmm
so that's a good spread.
So Indy and Las Vegas. Vegas with 4.5 points.
Good spread.
Arizona and LA. LA takes it with 1.5.
Wow. I mean, it's gonna be a toss-up game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A
But
lot of people still have faith in LA though.
yeah,
I mean,
I don't
I
have faith. I don't have faith.
for some reason I still kind of do have faith, but it's not high. So
No.
yeah, next one.
Your Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are in favor by 4.5.
Only 4.5. Wow. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance for Green Bay, even though it is at Lambeau.
Yeah,
Um,
but let's be real. Last game you played in Lambeau, 305 game, was the Patriots. You almost lost to Bailey Zappi.
no, the last game we played at Lambeau was against the Jets.
Oh, yeah, never mind. And you lost somehow.
It's still bad. Um, yeah, about this game. As a huge Green Bay Packer fan, I do not really want to watch this football game. I am not even joking. Just to know that this team has lost, is it 5 straight games
They
now?
started 3-1. They are now 3-6. They lost
Yup.
5 straight.
So 5 straight. We're about to lose 6 straight. Um, I do not want to watch this game at all. Dak Prescott is gonna be all over our cornerbacks. Jair Alexander is like the only hope that I really have on the defensive end of this team. Otherwise, we got injuries up the wazoo. Um, we're missing Rashad Gary.
ACL tear out for a year. Romeo Dobbs. I did. I don't know.
Romeo,
I don't know if you know this, but I was actually
we
talking to.
lost Kawhi Walker too,
Yep. I don't know if you
our
saw
our
this,
linebacker.
but I know in the injury report at Detroit, Aaron Jones was in a boot.
He was.
So obviously,
So
I don't know how he's going to be for this game, but Packers depleted team. Rodgers doesn't have any weapons. you're just gonna have to rely on Dylan. These super young guys, you gotta step up. Amari Rogers, Sammy Watkins needs to have a game of his life. But Dallas is. I feel like this is just gonna be a manslaughter.
Uh, I mean, you you said it. Amari Rogers, I don't really have any confidence in him. He hasn't really stepped up to his role at all. I know we have that one receiver from Nebraska, I believe.
I
I
don't know who
can't
you're talking
I
about because
I
I
can't
don't
think
really
of
care.
his name. I'm gonna look at the Packers wide receiver depth chart, but you can go ahead and talk about this one.
All right. No, Dallas more complete team as I said earlier. I feel like this is just gonna be absolute manslaughter. I'm gonna go 42-7 Dallas.
That, that's a pretty
I,
pretty
I,
big
I actually, I'm
water.
gonna say 42-10. I'm gonna say 42-10 against for Dallas.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Green Bay
This
Packers.
might be the game where they bench Rodgers and put in Jordan Love. This could be that game.
I, I don't think it's gonna go that far. Um, but I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers depth chart. Questionable. Aaron Rodgers is listed as questionable this week.
Really?
That's news to me. Aaron Jones is questionable. Lazard's questionable. Dobbs is out. Watkins is questionable.
Oh
Punyan's
no.
questionable. Bakhtiari's questionable. Bakhtiari's injured all the time. I
Yeah.
kind of want us to get rid of him, to be honest.
He's just a
Elton
reliability.
Jenkins. Elton Jenkins is questionable. John Runyon's questionable. So we have okay, Randall Cobb, IR.
So, so you
It
want to talk
looks really
about
bad.
your score prediction after that? Looking at their depth chart.
Preston Smith questionable. Devondre Campbell questionable. Chris Barnes questionable. Rashawn Gary IR. Eric Stokes doubtful.
Oh shit,
Dude.
bro.
Mason Crosby questionable.
What? Okay, okay. Obviously,
this
we know
team
that Packers are just riddled with injuries.
this team is so beaten up.
Oh my god.
I really want them to get rid of their, I don't know, their strength and conditioning coach because clearly this guy is doing nothing for them and our guys keep getting injured. The Packers are gonna look like a very young football team this week. Um, it it's not gonna be close. I agree with you on that. I also have the Packers only scoring 10 points in this game. I I would maybe push it up to 13, but since Crosby's questionable, I'm gonna leave it at 10. And the Dallas Cowboys are gonna score 31 to 10.
31-10. I got 41. Yeah, 41-10. All right. Sunday night football. You got the Chargers going to San Fran. 7 point different. 7 point favorite in San Fran. Um,
Wow.
5-3 and a 4-4 team. So obviously this should be a really good game. But I think I might have to agree on the spread here with San Fran. I know we were shitting on them earlier in the podcast because of how they're ranked above Minnesota. But no, more weapons, more complete team. You have a healthy quarterback. Obviously, Herbert doesn't have Keenan Allen. He's still out. Just San Fran has one of the best defenses in the league. If you take out that Kansas City game, by far one of the best defenses. But no, I'm gonna stick with the point spread. I'm gonna go 28-21 San Fran.
Okay. I have the LA Chargers winning this game. The way I've seen the 49ers perform in primetime games this year has been absolutely horrendous to watch. Um, I would say that Justin Herbert, he is going to throw over 300 yards for like the first time this season in a game, which is really hard to believe, but he has not really thrown the ball for that many yards this year. And Austin Eckler, if they just keep their offense going and rely on the screen pass game, him, get the ball to Mike Williams. Um, hopefully Keenan Allen comes back for this team. But I just don't see this San Francisco 49er offense really matching well against the defense of the Chargers. I think Khalil Mack is finally going to have a statement game
Oh
in
yeah, I
LA
forgot that
or
he's
for
in
LA.
LA. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So I'm taking the Chargers in a very close game. Uh 24 to 23.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
All right then. So we have Monday night. The Commanders going to the 8-0 Eagles. I want the Eagles to lose now.
I want the Commanders to win this
I
game
want the
so
Commanders
badly.
to. If we have Eagles fans out there, just so you know, we don't like them, so we're probably gonna pick them against every week unless it's an obvious game if they play. Actually, no, I can't say Houston because they almost lost to them. They held their ground, but 11-point differential for Philly. I'm gonna take the Commanders in this one. I want to see an upset this week. This is gonna be my upset game of the week. So I'm gonna take Commanders in a shootout. I am going to go 35-31.
Wow. I do not have upset on this one, but I do want the Commanders to win this game really, really badly. I'm sick and tired of hearing Eagles fans go like, "Fly, Eagles, fly! We're winning the Super Bowl.
I
We're
feel you
going all the
there.
way." Um, I I mean, I don't see the Commanders standing a chance in this game. To be honest with you, it's in Philly, so it's going to be even more difficult for Taylor Heineke and Ron Rivera to put anything together. Um, I think Jalen Hurts, he's going to keep doing what he's been doing this year, using his legs on the field and throwing the ball to supposedly, uh, I would almost argue this guy could be a top five receiver in the league.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, he's going to play really well. I think the last time these two teams played uh was was it week 2?
No,
I
that's
think it
when
was
Minnesota played them. I think this is their
uh
first matchup. No. It was week
it's not.
3 or 4
It I know these two teams played each other before
because
because
it was Carson Wentz's
Devon,
revenge game.
Devonta Smith had insane numbers in his game against the Commanders recently. And I think history is going to repeat itself again. I don't see the Commanders really doing anything on the offensive end of the ball. So I have the Eagles winning this one in a commanding fashion, but um 28 to 10.
Okay. I don't know if this is the right game. I'm trying to look. No, because it says 6-10. Okay. Let me go to NFL. Commanders.
They played the Commanders week 3.
Week 3, they lost 24-8. Maybe they split the
Yeah.
series. But no,
This
that
this was the game where Devonta Smith had absolutely insane numbers. He had 8 receptions for 169 yards
I know that's
and a touchdown.
insane.
Yep. And he made an incredible catch. I remember watching that. And it's nice to have him on my fantasy team too. Same for
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard.
Mm-hmm. All right. So moving on from our game predictions, we're going to talk about the current playoff pictures and possible Super Bowl contenders predictions. And I think that's probably the last thing before we actually wrap up. So, um, they don't have in the hunt yet, but we'll start with the NFC. Number 1 seed Eagles, which is obviously they're 8-0. Number 2, you got the Minnesota Vikings. Number 3, you got the Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, after last night lost to the Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay is now leading that division. Number 5, you got the Dallas Cowboys. 6, you got the Giants. And 7, you got the
49ers.
49ers. And in the hunt, you have Washington, Atlanta, LA, Packers, Saints, Arizona, Chicago, Carolina, and Detroit. So obviously,
So,
ideal. So obviously, people don't know. First round, first seed gets a bye. They get home field advantage. Starting to look a lot like 2017 with the Vikings. Eagles finished first, Minnesota finished second. They have the Minneapolis Miracle of Stephon Diggs to Case Keenum. But you get second.
I bet that play was your favorite play
Oh yeah,
of all time that you've watched.
I think that whole week of school I just watched that play and then we ended up getting blown out by the Eagles the next week. We score on our first possession and then we don't do anything else. So you would have the second and seventh seed. So you would have Minnesota and Niners, which for what my friends tell me, he's like he doesn't like that matchup. So hopefully we can get something else in there.
I
I don't
think
like
that is a tough matchup, to be
that. That is a
honest.
super tough matchup. We've played Jimmy Garoppolo before. I think we can contain him, but obviously with McCaffrey, I think that's gonna be my biggest issue.
Yeah, the
But
fact that they added Christian McCaffrey, like it does make them a definitely more intimidating team. But I mean, according to the power rankings, they should not be as high as
no,
they are currently.
it,
We'll just have to wait and see what
yeah, for
happens
sure.
with
And then you have the Seahawks, the number 3 seed, will face the Giants. This will actually be a rematch. This game would be played in Seattle. It would also be a I would say it could be a revenge game. Actually, I will say it would be a revenge game for Seattle if playoffs started as of this week, because Giants beat them in Seattle.
I could see that being a pretty darn good matchup. I really like the idea of rematches from previous games that like two teams such as the Seahawks and the Giants played earlier in the season. Something about just the rematches in the playoffs just makes it better. Like even if you look back at last year when my Packers were against the 49ers early in the season, they won
Destroyed
on
them, absolutely
they actually
annihilated them. Was
last year they didn't. Last year they ended up having the game-winning field goal kick
I
to
don't
end the
remember
game.
that.
I
I
don't know
don't
if you
remember that.
remember that,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, that game was in San Francisco, and then all of a sudden, I mean, playoff games in Green Bay, you expect the tides to absolutely go in Green Bay's favor. Well, they didn't. So rematches, you never know what's going to happen when it comes to a
No,
rematch. A lot of adjustments get made from both sides.
no. But I will say I'm gonna take Minnesota and then I'm gonna take New York on the road in the playoff.
I would agree. Ooh, I don't know. I kind of like the way the Seahawks are right now. I would take Minnesota for sure. Um, I think I'd stick with the Seahawks.
All right, and then we have another rematch of Week 1. You have the Tampa hosting the Dallas Cowboys. More complete team. Obviously, Week 1's kind of like shaking off the rust, but I would take Dallas in this one. They're 6-2. Tampa's only in there because they're leading the NFC South at 4-5.
Yeah, it's really
Actually,
disappointing.
they are leading the they have the worst record in the playoffs, but they have to because they are leading their division at 4-5. I would take Dallas in a heartbeat in this one.
I would have to agree with you on that. Cowboys are a way better built team right now. As long as the guys stay healthy on the ball for Dallas and they decide to stick with Tony Pollard over Ezekiel Elliott, this team will be very complete and pretty dangerous to watch.
Agreed. So then you would have the home teams would be for the following week. You would have Philly hosting New York. If you correct me if I'm wrong. And then
That'd be for your that'd be for your matchup. I had the Seahawks winning.
Yes, and then Minnesota would be hosting the Cowboys. Obviously, Philly is going to beat New York. I think. I think there's no question about that. But also, they could go one and done. So I'm going to leave that game up in the air. Don't really know. And then Cowboys, it's going to be played in Minnesota. Depends if it's a primetime game or not. Really depends. But one of the wins I get in Kirk's prime time is against the Cowboys. So, but I don't know. Those are gonna be two toss ups for me.
I right now would see those games as the Eagles would win, and I think the Dallas Cowboys would upset the Vikings, if you even call it an upset, because
It's
the
7-1 and 62. It just depends on the seeding, because they could
teams
have
are
this. They
pretty
could have.
even.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty even team. So that's what I'm saying. Both Eagles will win, and I'm gonna leave the Vikings and Cowboys up for a toss up.
That's fair.
And so NFC Championship, you have the Eagles against either Minnesota or Dallas. Um, Dallas
I don't
play.
want to see any of those matchups, but they're gonna
It's
happen.
gonna happen. Dallas played them earlier this year with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush didn't play well. His first career loss as a starter. Um, Healthy Dak, healthy Zeke, healthy Pollard, healthy Gallup. I would still give it to Eagles.
I would give it to the Eagles as well.
If it's Vikings and Eagles, I think Vikings are changed very much. Then they would change a lot of things from what they learned from their Week 2 loss, as they lost 24-7. I think Eagles will still win, but it would be a lot closer. I'm going to say 24-21 in that. Eagles advance to the Super Bowl.
I would have the Eagles advancing to the Super Bowl. Either way, in the standings, I do not want to see an NFC Championship Eagles and Cowboys game though.
No, that's going to be so bad.
That I do not want to watch.
All right.
But I would watch it. But
Oh, yeah, for
no,
sure, because you see who gets to go to the Super Bowl. All right. And for the AFC, number 1 seed, you have the Bills. 2 seed, you have the Chiefs. 3 is Baltimore. 4 is Tennessee. 5 is the Jets. They are on bye this week. 6 is Miami. And LA Chargers at 7. In the hunt at 8, you have New England. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I guess I didn't realize the record was that bad. Um, 9, you have Cincinnati. 10, Indianapolis. 11, Cleveland. 12, Denver. 13th, Jacksonville. 14th, Las Vegas. 15th, Pittsburgh. And then 16th, Houston. So,
good
matchups for
good
this.
job. Good
Thank you.
job not saying Oakland that time.
Thank you, Brent. I really
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
All
Nice
right.
job, Matt.
So, matchups would be Chiefs and Chargers. That would be a repeat. I'm going to take Chiefs in that one.
I'll take Chiefs in that one as well.
You got Baltimore and Miami. I'm going to go Miami on this one. Baltimore blew a 20-point lead against them earlier. Tua played out of his mind. But
I like the Dolphins as well. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs hasn't shown himself yet, so
that's true.
Dolphins.
Then you have Tennessee and New York. I'm going to take the Jets in that one.
I would take Tennessee in that one over
Really?
the. So all the games that I've selected, I have actually no. I was gonna say I've decided with the higher seed winning, but I chose the Dolphins over the Ravens. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the 4 seed would be the 5.
I think the 5 would beat the 4, because I think Jets just seem like a more complete team. Um, their defense is playing spectacular.
Okay, what happened with Ryan Tannehill?
I think it's his
Uh,
ankle, if I can remember correctly.
okay, he's gonna be back and healthy in time for the playoffs.
Oh, that is true.
I'm
Yeah.
honestly not even that worried for them. They got off to a rocky 0-2 start, but they've been figuring things out
Mm-hmm.
since then.
Yeah. And then you would have the Bills would host the Dolphins.
That's gonna be a really good game.
That's one of Bills' 2 losses this year. Obviously, it was a very. I think it was like the ref didn't touch the ball or something, and they
Yeah,
ended
the
up losing.
offensive coordinator for the Bills just got so irate
Yeah.
and he was like throwing all of his shit around in the press box on live television. Pretty
The
good moment to
mhm.
watch.
The Chiefs would host the either Jets or Titans. I would still take Kansas City. I think we kind of know what this AFC championship matchup will look like.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
I
clear.
think it's pretty clear. Chiefs would beat both of those teams, and then we'll see another Bills and Chiefs championship run.
I would not count out the Miami Dolphins. Like something about that team to me
They're
is
playing Buffalo. They played in Miami earlier. They're playing Buffalo. That's going to be a huge factor on weather. It's going to be cold.
way
They played in
totally,
Miami. They played in Miami earlier this year.
totally.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can see that. I want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I
I'm
really
gonna take the Bills. AFC Championship game. Bills. It's gonna be another shootout. I'll say this will change a lot once the season moves along more. But right now, I'm taking the Bills and Eagles in Super Bowl.
okay. I'll I'll go with the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super
Oh,
Bowl. I think Josh Allen, he's gonna have another like Allen and Mahomes, they're gonna have this like crazy rivalry throughout their entire careers. But Mahomes is gonna get the best of him early on. So like the last three matchups they've had, or two matchups they've had in the playoffs, where I mean it's been total heartbreak for the Bills against the Chiefs, and I think it's gonna happen again.
in
So
2020, you lose to the Chiefs in the divisional round. Now, obviously, last year we all know what happened. You can't leave any time on the clock for Mahomes. Goes down, ties it. New overtime rules are implemented into the season for playoffs, so that each team gets a. It's basically college rules now, because obviously, myself was very angry that it's like, okay, you just give Mahomes a ball and you don't let Allen get it. I mean, two of the best quarterbacks in today's game, and you only give one of them a shot. I don't think that was fair. But obviously, now we
we can
know
talk about
we
those
can talk
overtime
about that. Yeah,
rules another day.
yeah. I know right now we have been recording for 2 hours and 16 minutes. So, super long first episode as a test run. But I'm going to take the Bills in the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs in the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
I think we're all. I think we both agreed that we don't want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Something about the Eagles, I just don't like them. Like
I will
some
say
of the
this.
players.
No
Go
one,
ahead.
no one wants to see a Bills Eagles Super Bowl. That's just gonna be. Just imagine the fans. They're gonna be so chaotic. You're gonna have people jumping off tables. You're gonna have people jumping up like posts. It's gonna be so bad.
Hey, sometimes society needs to see that.
You're
I
not
mean,
wrong.
but here's the thing: society's so fucked up these days, and
It really
I don't
is.
know. I don't really know if we really want to see that. Excuse me for my coughing. I'm still trying to get over a cold right now. So yeah.
No, but
Oh, but
I think that's just about it. Anything else you want to talk about? I know a lot of teams still riddled with injuries. Obviously, we could probably go over that in a couple of next episodes. See after this week how that goes. See if Packers get healthier. See if they don't. Obviously, they're going to be riddled with injuries against the Cowboys. Also, Mike McCarthy's homecoming game. Just want to point that out.
yeah, it's gonna be a pretty emotional moment for him because I know he's already dealt with some of the media in some press conferences talking about, oh, it's gonna be your first return to Green Bay since your tenure for being the head coach for the Packers. And he said he was gonna be emotional about it. So don't be surprised if at the end of the game, if we'll
Roger.
see what happens with him and Rodgers. I
That'll
am
be interesting.
very curious because the way the media plays everything out as was they hated each other.
Yes, they
Uh,
hated each other very much.
but I don't know if they actually hated each other. I just think at that time things just were not clicking for the team. They were struggling at that time, and the Packers decided to let go of it.
Yeah,
I, I
and
don't I don't really think it had to do with
the
Aaron
fighting.
Rodgers.
No, because I think he was calling the play calls, and that's when they Minnesota went to the NFC Championship game. Packers went 6-10 that year. Obviously, a lot of arguing between the two, but yeah, media portrays it as I'm fighting, but I think there's more going on.
And like that's what you're gonna expect. If you are a team that struggles, you are gonna see a lot of frustration go on. It doesn't mean that you hate each other. It it really means that you want to win. Like you have a desire to win, but you just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
And
for sure. Yeah.
that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
hmm Uh, but no, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else? I guess. Um, I don't have anything
I
else.
um I don't believe I have anything else to say. The only thing I would say is this was a great first episode slash test run of what we're going to be doing in the future. And I'm glad that we got to put this together and do this and find time to do this. Because like you said in the opening, Matt, like for both of us, this is like our dream. We want to get into the broadcasting type of world, especially for sports and doing sports media.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's a great way of putting ourselves out there. No matter what type of audience we get, we thank those people, you guys, for tuning in to these episodes. And there's going to be a lot more content from us on the way. We'll tell a bunch of stories about our past, a lot of things that have gone down in our past 20, close to 21 years of life. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
actually, you're gonna have a birthday here in what 4 days?
close 9 days.
God damn it!
So, I'll be turning 21 on the 20th. So,
Yeah, no, but yeah, obviously, it's first good test run. Obviously, we may have to switch to the second one. Expect we're probably gonna be recording 2 days a week, so probably expect maybe an upload on Tuesday sometime, after, as we go over the current games. Obviously, this is a longer episode because we had to go over both games, finished games, and predictions. So basically, we're gonna have predictions in the later podcasts of the week, and then we would have going over after in the earlier one. So expect
an
that.
overview.
Yeah, an overview
Yeah,
of the week after. We're probably going to be doing it right after the Monday night game. We probably will start recording for this. But no, obviously this is a super long podcast. As we've been 2 hours and 22 minutes right now. It's 2 o'clock right now.
it is exactly 2 o'clock. And like you said, since we'll be doing like 2 episodes per week, that means like this episode is kind of like broken down into what that's going to look like. So each episode will be like close to an hour and a half, maybe a little shorter.
Yeah, it gives us
At,
more time. Obviously,
yes.
but honestly, from I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. As Brendan could say for both of said it for us before, this is something that we both dearly want to do. Doesn't matter how big the size of the audience, if it's one or if it's a million people. We just want to thank you guys, and we hope that you guys will continue listening to our podcast. I maybe can talk in the future about maybe getting Amon Green in this. He has his thoughts about this,
Dude,
obviously.
that'd be so cool if we can get guests like that. It will definitely grow ourselves as more of an audience, but once again, to us, it's not really about the audience we make. It's about doing what we like to do
Yeah.
and just like letting people know that this is what we like to do. And hopefully you guys can relate to this stuff as well. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, so as Brendan said, this is something we both dearly enjoy. Obviously, trying to make this our career. But yeah, I have nothing else. Uh, last and no last thoughts from both of us. But expect to at least two podcasts a week. Obviously, episode one is just getting the basis downs. And next week, we'll see you down on Sidelines.
Yes, sir. See you next time.